The queen is lost. The queen is lost. This king is very safe behind all these pawns. Black finds a way to deliver a mating threat. Now the queen enters the position. This knight is attacked. This rook is attacked. It's like the game has turned. Hello friends, how are you doing? Candidate Master Ranveer Mohite here, and in this video I am going to show you one of the most brilliant games played by the current world champion Liren. Now this game was played in the Chinese league with white was playing by Jinshi, a strong Chinese grandmaster, and with black is playing Liren. At that time Ding was not a world champion, but he was in the top 15 players in the world. I remember this game became one of the talking point in chess tournaments. It was very widely discussed and people were going crazy about it. Okay, white plays d4, black plays knight to f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. Now this is known as the Nimzo Indian defense, a very popular move, a very popular defense with the black pieces. White plays knight f3, Ding short castles, bishop g5, c5, e3, capture in the center, queen captures, and now here Ding plays knight to c6, asking this queen what it is doing. The queen runs back, and now he plays h6, asking this bishop what is it doing here. The bishop runs back, and now he starts to fight for the center. He plays d5, rook d1. Now always remember, whenever you have a rook, it's always a good idea to put it in front of the queen. Okay, in many cases it's a very useful idea. Why? Because often if let's say these pawns are, if we remove these pawns, all of a sudden this rook puts pressure on this queen and it becomes very uncomfortable for this queen. Okay, so this is often a good move to put your rook on the same file as the queen. Black plays here g5, hitting out at the bishop. The bishop goes back, and now g5 is already a provocation. Black is saying, I'm okay with pushing the pawn in front of my king and weakening my king position slightly, because I think your king is in the center and it's going to come under a lot of attack very soon. So Liren here plays the move knight to e4. Okay, hitting this knight, and also there is a bishop. White plays knight to d2, challenging this knight. White is like, okay, knight, please go away. Black plays knight to c5. Now this knight hits the queen. Now where will the queen go? The queen has to go back. It goes back to c2. And now this king is in the center of the board. So Ding decides it's time to open the position. Okay, because if you open the position, it becomes easier for your pieces to come and attack this king. So Ding plays the move d4. Okay, if you take, Ding is very happy. There will be knight d4. The knight jumps. There's going to be lots of threats. This king is going to be under some serious pressure. But white has something more. White plays here knight to f3. White is like, okay, don't forget, I have a rook and your queen is on the same file as this rook. So this pawn is technically pinned. If it goes here, it's you have to go. You have to say bye-bye to your queen. And now, buckle up. Things are about to get very crazy, because here black plays the move e5. What is this? Black is just giving up a pawn? Is that what's happening? Because white takes the pawn. It's a free pawn. Now if you capture back, the bishop will capture. White is a extra pawn up. But no, now it begins. The crazy queen sacrifice after d takes c3. Rook takes d8. The queen is lost. The queen is lost. But black has gained a knight and they've gained a rook. Oh, sorry, they don't gain the rook right now. They play cb2 check, king e2, and now they recapture the rook. But of course, now white has a pass pawn to deal with, so white gets rid of this pawn. Now, if white manages to consolidate, if this bishop gets developed, if this rook comes into the game, black is going to be in a very difficult position. Okay, and it looks like this king is very safe. It's behind all these pawns. It looks quite difficult to attack it. But now, the knight, the sneaky knight, comes into the game and gets this king out of its hiding spot. King plays here knight to a4, hitting this queen. Now where will the queen go? The queen goes to c2. Now comes knight to c3 check, attacking the king. Where does the king go? King to f3. And in this position, black finds a way to deliver a mating threat. Black plays the move rook to d4. Rook to d4. This pawn is controlling d4, but the rook still lands on d4. Why? What is going on? Because if the pawn captures on d4, black will capture back with the knight and this queen is lost on the next move. Bye bye queen. Okay, and black is an extra piece up. So white cannot capture the rook. Now, so then what should white do? There is a threat. The threat is if white plays a4, there's going to be g4 check hitting this queen. This is this king. Knight g4 and bishop g4. This is a checkmate. This is a checkmate. The rook protects the bishop. This king cannot run anywhere. It's gone. It's dead on f3. So white has to react to this threat. White has to react to the threat of g4. So white stops it by playing the move h3. Now there is this pawn guarding this square. But black is like, okay, I don't care. I'm going to push my pawn further. And now again, there is this g4 check idea and checkmate coming. Because you have a pawn which is reinforcing the square. So white has to make space for the king. How does white make space? So white plays the move bishop to h2. Like, okay, now black plays g4 and now the king has a square. It can go to g3. Okay. But now they play rook to d2. Oh my god, what is happening? Rook to d2. This rook was attacked, but it doesn't mean you put it on another square which is not attacked. This is not what you teach beginners. You don't teach them to hang free pieces. But in this case, rook d2 works fine because after queen d2, there is knight e4 check hitting the queen and the king. Now if the king goes here, they'll lose the queen. White loses the queen and black has an extra minor piece. So rook d2 is apparently this rook cannot be attacked. This rook cannot be captured. So this white queen runs away to b3. And now in this position, the hunt for the king starts. Black plays knight to e4 check. King to h4. Bishop e7 check. Is there a checkmate? No, the king captures the pawn on h7. Now what? This king, it looks like it has found safety. And now Ding plays the very, very calm move. King to g7. The idea behind this move is this rook is going to get developed to h8. And after it gets developed to h8, this king is going to be in the woods. It's going to be in huge trouble. White sees that, so white develops their bishop. Black is like, okay, I'll also develop my bishop. White says, I'll give a check. Now you don't have time to bring your rook here. Do something. So the king has to run away. And now the queen enters the position. Now this knight is attacked. This rook is attacked. All of a sudden, it looks like the game has turned. The game has turned. Yeah, now this queen is also going to come here. It's going to start attacking. And all of a sudden, it looks like it made no sense to play king to g7. And now in this position, black decides to capture this pawn. Like, the whole house is set on fire here. There is a rook, there is a bishop hanging, and there's a knight hanging. There is the queen that is on the same line as the king. And black has the time to capture the pawn. Why? Because if white captures here, there's going to be knight g3 checkmate. This king goes nowhere. Cannot go here because all these squares are controlled by this bishop. These pieces and these three minor pieces give a checkmate. Wow. Nothing. Same after knight queen a8, there is going to be knight g3 checkmate. Again, the same pieces come and control the square. So white decides to play in the game bishop g5. So that now, at least after knight g3 check, the king can hide behind the bishop. But after bishop to g5, black plays rook h8. Black's idea of developing the rook from a8 to h8 has become a reality. It has become a reality. White takes the pawn. Okay, white knight is also coming close. And now look, this bishop, if you move this knight, is pinned. This bishop is very, very close to being captured. Black plays the move bishop g6 check, king to g4, and now knight to e5 check. And in this position, this knight is free because white can just capture back with the knight. But instead of capturing knight, you know what white did? He resigned. What? Why did white resign? They can just simply capture the knight. Not only is they win a piece, but also there is this queen that is spinning this bishop. Why did they resign? Because after knight to e5, black plays bishop f5 check. This rook protects the bishop. This bishop gives the check. Where will the king go? The king has to go to h5. And now black plays king to g7 check. This rook, remember I told you this whole idea? Yeah, this rook comes into the game. Bishop h6 and rook h6 checkmate. Crazy game. So that is the reason why knight to e5 check. After this move, white stopped the clock. Ding won the game. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.